is Braves Vision.
Baseball is presented by Truist. 4-game series, Braves winning the lid lifter yesterday, so now it's a 6-game win streak. The Braves at 16-7, the most wins in Major League Baseball. Hello again, Braves country. All of those notes are good news. We are happy here in the booth. Brandon Gunn and C.J. Nitkowski back with you. So not only a 6-game win streak overall, but it's also a 6-game road win streak if you date back to Anaheim. So everything right now, C.J., going very well for the Atlanta Braves.
It certainly is. We know how much they love playing at home as well. It's been a great start to the season so far. How do you win? You don't let up runs. That's a good way to kind of get things started. And so far, this pitching during this road winning has been excellent as you take a look at the numbers there, but you also got to score. Good news. The Braves have been doing that as well up and down the lineup. We've talked about it quite a bit. The production that they're getting from everybody has paid off in a big way away from home.
Let's highlight two guys offensively that have really been lighting it up. Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson. Baldwin leading baseball in runs driven in. Matt Olson leading the National League, CJ, in extra base hits.
Not sure who wants to be Batman, who wants to be Robin, but this is a dynamic duo. And go back to spring training when Walt Weiss had told us that Drake Baldwin was going to bat second, and we see it against right-handed pitching. When they go back-to-back against the lefty, they get split. But we'll see that tonight. It has been a really good run for both of these guys. Drake Baldwin, no issues, second season in the big leagues. He's only gotten better, and we are seeing the very best version of Matt Olson right now, crushing fastballs. You can see the other numbers there for him and leading the National League with those extra base hits, 16 of them. Matt Olson has been absolutely crushing it. Here we take a look here as far as streaks right now for Drake Baldwin, reaching safely in 21 of 23 here so far. Matt Olson doing some similar work as well. So getting it done right now. A couple of lefties in the lineup for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, even with so much going right, you knew there would be a couple of bumps along the road, and Raisel Iglesias on the 15-day IL that was announced earlier today. But have no fear, says Peter Moylan, our reliever in the studio alongside Nick Green. Those two guys will break it down and give you a bullpen update when we return. Experience in baseball. It's free to sign up, so go to Braves.com/waitlist and join today.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. By the Georgia Lottery, today could be the day. And by Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price, Xfinity. Imagine that. Well, it's been a great start to the year for this Braves pitching staff. It's been a combination of the starter and the bullpen as well. Nick Green alongside Peter Moylan. But Peter, we got news today that Raisel Iglesias is going on the 15-day IL. That's retroactive to Monday. Yep. Dylan Dow was recalled in his spot. But I feel like this bullpen could shoulder the load. Now, it's not going to be easy because Iggy is one of the best relievers in the game, for sure. But the bullpen has been great.
The bullpen has been incredible this year, and it's not just, obviously, Iggy. We've got three of the best relievers in baseball, honestly, in Dylan Lee, Robert Suarez, and Tyler Kinley. But it's going to be the other guys that are going to step up. We saw Jose Suarez throw three innings the other night against Philly to close out that game. Joel Payamps came in and closed out the game last night in a 4-run game, so that was huge. Dylan Dodd has a chance to get some big outs for this team so far this year too. I mean, he's done everything that they've asked of him in a Braves uniform. I think that kind of form will continue now that he's going to get more opportunities.
Yeah, this is our Georgia Aquarium Below the Surface feature. Takes a look at Dylan Lee, Tyler Kinley, and Robert Suarez. You mentioned Dylan Lee. He's been fantastic over the last 2+ years. Tyler Kinley in a Braves uniform has been crazy, crazy good. Robert Suarez, we know that he led the league in saves last year with 40. But as far as the other guys in the mix, Peter, you mentioned Jose Suarez. There are going to be times where this bullpen needs to be rested. We've talked about this a lot. As far as Walt Weiss going after it, trying to get those wins every single day. Do things change for him the way he uses these guys?
I think maybe we're going to see the starting pitchers be relied on to go a little deeper in games, but I also feel like there's going to be someone that's going to step up and get some big outs for this team for the next 15 days especially. I mean, we have some guys that have shown they can get big outs in big situations, and it's going to take those guys now.
Well, you mentioned the pitching, the starting pitching in particular. We need more out of Reynaldo Lopez. He's making his 5th start of this season. Maybe he can get into that 6th inning tonight. Wiley Ballard can have more on Ray Ray when we come back.
on Braves Vision.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. It's that simple. By Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Welcome back to Nationals Park. Tuesday night, game 2 of our 4-game series. Bryce Elder coming off a spectacular start last night, going 6 2/3. And tonight, the Braves turn to Ronaldo Lopez, who made just 1 start all of last season, but he too has been a key piece to this Braves rotation that leads Major League Baseball in ERA. I asked Braves manager Walt Weiss what he has thought of the right-hander start, considering he didn't throw very much last year.
You never know coming into a season where guys missed virtually the entire season the year before, and especially shoulder stuff, but I think as good as we could have hoped for with Lope. So yeah, he's another one of those guys, kind of like Sale, where the velocity can fluctuate based on the situation. He can go get the mid to upper 90s when he wants to, and really I think just example of him knowing how to pitch and navigate lineups. Of course, he's got the good breaking ball that he leans on, but yeah, he's in a really good place.
Here's a look at our John Foy, the strong arm, 2024, 2026 against left-handed hitters. And that's important because the Nationals tonight have 8 lefties that they will face the righty Lopez. Take a look at the hard hit rate. It has dropped considerably. Why? Well, he's been relying upon his slider a little more. And I had a chance to catch up with Braves pitching coach Jeremy Hefner, saying it offers a little more cover for his heater. And as Walt mentioned, that is a pitch he can go up and down when it comes to velocity depending on the spot. So it'll be Ronaldo Lopez making his 5th start of the season. He's given up 1 earned run or less in 3 of the first 4. And tonight it'll be against the team that signed him as a 16-year-old. Braves Nationals. Game 2 is coming to you next from the nation's capital.
You're watching the Atlanta Braves on Braves Vision. Sunny but chilly, temps in the upper 50s. Game 2. Now, game 1, the Braves won, but there was a little concern about Ronald Acuna Jr. Let's wind the clock back about 22 hours. He was hit by Jake Irvin not once. That was in the 4th inning, but twice. That was the more concerning one. On the hand, X-rays negative. No MRI was needed, but still there was some concern. Would he play tonight? The good news, folks, he is out there ready to lead off things for the Atlanta Braves in the 1st inning. And the lineup is brought to you by our good friends at Racetrack. And then Baldwin, and it'll be Albies hitting 3rd with a lefty on the mound. And that lefty on the mound has never faced the Braves. It's just his 12th big league appearance. And his name is Foster Griffin.
And just his 5th since he has returned from Japan after a 3-year stint. This guy's got a really deep repertoire. It's been good numbers so far, not necessarily overpowering with the swing and miss. You can see his 7 walks over 20 2/3 so far this year. Fastball sits just around 91, 92.
How about your Ford Keys tonight, sir?
Well, you got to pick a side. Now, I know what side you're on. You know what side I'm on. But we're talking about the side of the plate. This guy can work both sides with all of those pitches, and you can't cover all of it. Look for either outer half or inner half, and the rest advantage for Ronaldo Lopez, right? It's 7 days in between, so a couple of extra days of rest. It'd be really great. You can go deep in the game tonight with Ronaldo Lopez. Excuse me, with Raisel Iglesias being down.
And pitch number 1 right on time here at 6:45 Eastern. It is a strike. That is the veteran Laz Diaz back there behind Acuna and the catcher Millis calling the balls and strikes tonight.
We love Laz. He's been at it for a long time. He was an active umpire during my career, but he is not rated particularly well here lately. Right near the bottom, 78 out of the 80 umpires when it comes to correct call percentage.
He's been doing it since 1999. Laz Diaz. Proud U.S. Marine as well. And he's already coming out to clear off the plate.
I hate to say it, but after having 0 challenges yesterday, because Laz has slipped a little bit in the elder years, we may see a few challenges tonight.
Yeah, it was a surprise first game we've covered without any challenges yesterday. Thankfully, it was good news for the Braves, though, winning 9-4. And now it's a 6-game win streak for Walt Weiss and company. 2-2 line drive, just foul. Bebas over there at third, ranged over to try to get it. It fell just left of the chalk.
Thought maybe with the weather, kind of maybe out of an abundance of caution, that Ronald might have the night off tonight, but as we learned, he very much wanted to play and told Walt Weiss that was the case, and here he is and looking pretty good so far.
And a sigh of relief.
Oh.
Well, Millis thought it was a strike. He threw down to first.
He called it a ball.
Catcher's challenge ball call.
Ooh, where was
Okay.
it? Did he challenge in time though?
Well, that's what Laz, I think, was saying that he did. Laz Diaz is correct. And it is a 3-2 count. The ABS challenge presented by T-Mobile. That was an unusual situation. I haven't seen that. The throw down and then the challenge. Payoff pitch.
Surprised they let him do it.
Oh, and now Acuna's going to challenge. So no challenges yesterday. And here we go. 2 in the first at bat. So last 2. And Ronald Acuna's 0 for 1.
A little bit of pride here for Laz, getting them both right. We take a look at the first one here. Now, I just never saw the tap. I'm surprised they let him challenge this. That's way late. I've seen hitters where if it's not right away, they don't let him do it. I saw a game yesterday where it happened. Now, that one looked like it did catch the corner, and Ronald disputed it right away. Maybe because the Braves felt good that it wasn't a strike. So go ahead. You want to burn a challenge? Well, we're not going to fight it.
My guess is that will be reviewed in New York, and they might show that one to the umpires and have a discussion about it. Because if I heard Laz Diaz correctly on our field mic when he was talking to Blake Butera, the Nationals manager, he basically said, yeah, I know he wanted to challenge it. That's why he threw down to first, so I'm going to grant that. So that might be one that they talk about.
Yeah.
Slowly to second, there's Nunez, and Baldwin is retired. Shield defense behind the pitcher. Foster Griffin looks like this. Lyle, Young, and Wood left to right. The change at third yesterday, you had House over there. It's Jorby Bebas, former Yankee. And Abrams, Nunez, Garcia, and Millis catching again. With the lefty on the mound, Ozzie batting third. Ozzie first pitch, liner to left, and it hangs up for Lyle. And Griffin has a 1-2-3 first.
Presented by Truist.
Nothing for the Braves in the top half. On to the bottom of the first. Racetrack lineup for the Nationals. James Wood will lead it off, then Garcia and Young. Those are the first 3. The Atlanta native Abrams will clean things up for Washington tonight. And Reynaldo Lopez made his debut on this mound as a National back in 2016, and now here he is a decade later with the Atlanta Braves.
That's got to be kind of cool for Ronaldo, right? The organization and where you kind of cut your teeth. It's been a great start to the season for him so far in his 20 2/3 innings.
And a little extra rest, as you mentioned, during your Ford Keys. So he pitched a week ago today, and now 7 days later, Lopez back out there.
So the big one will be keeping an eye on. We got another challenge here already. I told you it might be a busy night. I think James Wood's going to win this one.
Indeed, that is low. But each team one challenge remaining.
Could it be the opposite where we go from a 0 to the most that we see in any game?
We had 2 in the first at bat, but what were you going to say about Lopez?
Keeping an eye on the command, right? When you have that much time off, your first thought is great. You'll be feeling strong, but sometimes and I understand why you do it coming off the surgery, but keep an eye on the command early on to see if there's any effect on the extra 2 days. Because you'd love to see him be efficient if possible, right? Thinking again without Raisel Iglesias, Dylan Dodd's here now, but if you can give another one of those 6-inning outings, that'd be perfect.
And Walt Weiss said before the game he wants to try to find those spots for Reynaldo Lopez, get him an extra day or 2 of rest in there. Of course, coming off The injury last year with only one outing. And that 3-2 pitch was close. No challenge here. And you've got James Wood down to first base, leadoff walk as we take a look at the Car Shield defense. So Eli White with the lefty on the mound getting the start out in left. And Jonah Heim spelling Baldwin. Baldwin DHs and Heim catches tonight. So James Wood saw 6 pitches, never swung the bat, and now taking that one is Luis Garcia Jr. Right now we're about 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. It was 49 degrees at first pitch yesterday, 59 tonight. Temperatures supposed to drop into the 40s before it's all said and done.
So if you are scoring at home, and we've seen 3 challenges so far, the single game record here early on in the ABS era is 9.
Okay.
It's happened twice, and after that it drops off to 6. So those were kind of 2 games that were extreme, and we're currently on pace for, I think, 27 challenges.
But you know, if they lose it,
that's it. Yeah,
you're done. So like,
if Ronald didn't lose that one in the first inning, I think we might have seen a challenge from Jonah Heim on that pitch to Wood. Right, there was some hesitation, and we have seen that from him, where he's a little hesitant and trying to think about and compute everything as far as leverage and making those calls.
There's a swing from Garcia. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And a good sign is he got the glove of approval there from Jonah Heim to get swing and miss inside the strike zone with your fastball.
Wood takes off, and it's fouled away by Garcia.
Those legs, it's about, what, 6 to 7 steps for him to get from first to second.
He is 6'7", long levers for James Wood.
He makes Matt Olson look like a normal sized human. He's not.
Wood 4 for 4 in the stolen base category this year. He's staying put, and another foul ball by Garcia.
Already 5 stolen bases this year for Ronaldo Lopez again. There are a couple of caught stealing. So 5 for 7 those opposing base runners. Jonah Heim looking to throw out his first base stealer this year. 0 for 7 so far.
Garcia, the guy we were telling you about yesterday that moved from second base to first base this season, struggled at second. He puts a line drive out to right field. Wood is headed for third. Acuna bobbles it on the exchange. So the throw into second base. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
Slider here from Ronaldo. Take a peek at it after a pretty lengthy at bat. 7 pitches that Garcia is able to go out and hook into right field. Didn't hit it necessarily that hard, even though it caught a big part of the plate. And this bobble here didn't change anything, right? Wood was going to get the third anyway, and Garcia did not advance to second.
So yesterday the Nationals jumped out in front 2-0, and they're trying to get the first runs here in game 2 of the series. Got Jacob Young at the plate, who is known for his defense, not his bat, though. He put in a lot of work this offseason, added a couple miles per hour to his bat speed, and already has 2 home runs, which may not seem like a lot, but for Jacob Young, it is a lot. And batting third tonight, taking off Garcia, throw down, safe. Dubon, from his reaction, thought maybe he had him.
It looked like the throw beat him. It was a really good pick by Dubon over at short, but it's a matter of whether or not the hand got into the bag, which I think it may have. At least that's what they saw out at second base for the umpire there. Let's see, a high pitch for a ball. Watch the hand. Yeah, that's close.
That ball almost hit Garcia's left hand as he slid in. And the Braves not challenging. Middle infielder's back. Line drive, base hit. They're going to hold Garcia at third. And now going to second as that throw came home is Young. So it's 1-0. And the Nats have two in scoring position.
It's the slider again here from Ronaldo. Take a look at the location in the zone, and Young still, he caught it off the end. Again, it's not high exit velocity. And for Michael here in center field, you want to come up throwing and go ahead and hit your cutoff man. Keep that double play intact. That's a really good read by Young. As soon as he realized Matt Olson was not going to catch it, he took off.
So a walk and a pair of singles and a stolen base mixed in, and there's still nobody out. The cleanup man Abrams now.
A couple of off-speed pitches here in the first inning that have missed pretty badly for Ronaldo. You see that curveball. There's a changeup that was pretty far up and away. I mentioned some of the command stuff, a little bit cold for him, so some work to do to get in the zone with quality.
Did not go, says Eric Backus. 2-0. First time that Lopez has allowed an earned run in the first inning this season, and the Nationals are threatening for more.
Those are the ones that will frustrate a hitting coach right there, right? Ronaldo struggling a little bit with his command. That fastball was probably outside the zone. And in a 2-0 count, C.J. Abrams goes after it.
And swinging there to even the count, 2-2. He's off to another good start, but historically, if you look at Abrams, that's kind of been his MO. He gets off to really good starts and then has faded late the last couple of seasons. Lopez looking for that first out. Just missed. (3-2). So Lopez 22 pitches in here, yet to record an out. Leaves the curveball up and out. It's another free pass. Bases loaded.
Not only the miss, right, but again the location with the curveball and missing up and away. So maybe we'd see a visit here from Jeremy Hefner based on the reaction that you also saw there from Ronaldo Lopez, right? Almost like that kind of feeling. I can't believe that pitch just went there, and trying to figure out what in the world's going on right now for himself.
Dalen Lyle steps in, comes up swinging, slider, 0-1. Lyle had a homer yesterday in the fourth inning.
This guy is aggressive. You saw that first pitch, even though there's been a couple of walks in this inning, he offers at it. Doesn't strike out a lot necessarily, respectable strikeout rate, but he's got a lot of chase in his game.
Yeah, the scouts have always praised this guy's hitting ability. The question has been more on the defensive end for Dalen Lyle. Mentioned his incredible September last year as a rookie. He takes the four-seamer outside, and you got a 3-1 count, bases loaded here with nobody out. Already the 28th pitch for Lopez, and he is leaving things arm side, and he walks in a run. It's 2-0. And here comes Jeremy Hefner.
Yeah, you hope in this situation that is there something that he sees mechanically? Is the timing off a little bit? You want to have the ability to self-correct as a pitcher, but Ronaldo has not been able to do that so far here in the first inning.
So 3 walks, 2 singles, and already Suarez is going to get up and throw, and certainly you understand that. There's not an out. You got Lopez around 30 pitches right now.
Yep, it's not ideal, but at the same time you got to be careful. Remember, of course, just the 1 start last year. The shoulder surgery has been great so far this year, but doesn't mean you push early, especially on a cold night in April.
Nasim Nunez. Nunez was 0 for 3 yesterday. Lopez better here, getting ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So you got no outs. You got a pitch count that is climbing up right now, and that's why, of course, why you have Jose Suarez going. So we're at 32 pitches. You start thinking about your comfort level, and quite honestly, it's already a comfortable level for Walt Weiss. But the reality of getting close to 40 pitches in that first inning is not desirable at all here. I'd love to see him find a way to get this out and maybe get a double play to stay in the game.
Broken bat, little bloop, and it drops perfectly for Nunez. It's only going to score 1. But there is still nobody out. 6 batters in here in the bottom of the first, and it's 3-0.
Not a bad pitch. It's weak contact again, up and in. You can see the broken bat, and part of that bat going into the infield, but elevated, and Nunez does a good enough job to get that ball in the air and into the outfield. That is a tough break for Ronaldo. When you have these kind of outings, you just feel like you cannot find an out even when you do make a good pitch.
And now Jorby Bibas, the 25-year-old from Venezuela who was traded from the Yankees at the end of camp. Not a lot of big league time, less than 50 Major League Baseball games for Bibas. Puts it in the air, infield fly rule in effect, and there is the first out. Comes 35 pitches into the outing for Reynaldo Lopez. Dubon and Ozzie back, hoping for a potential double play here with Tena at the plate.
The Nats are doing their part as far as being aggressive early. Right? We've seen a lot of guys come up and swinging at the first pitch, and that gives you that opportunity to try to get out of this or try to get the pitch count back under control.
And swinging again, no balls, 2 strikes. When thinking about the possible double play, remember the Braves have turned 23 of them, most in the National League. 0-2. Curveball outside. Pitch number 40 for number 40, Reynaldo Lopez, here in the first inning. Check down, did not go, and another full count.
You kind of wondered a little bit here for Lopez, had he been able to finish off Tane a little bit earlier when he had that 0-2 count, that maybe Walt would have given him a chance to get that third out. It's starting to feel like this could be his last hitter, as Jose Suarez has been down that bull, but they're kind of talking about it. He says 40 pitches right there. You can read Jeremy Hefner's lips.
He does get the strikeout of Tana for out number 2, and now we'll see what happens.
He's staying put as it stands right now, and this is a good job by Ronaldo. We're looking fastball, get that strikeout. They're going to let him go for it, which is good. I mean, obviously, again, you don't want to see your starter out in the first inning. This is probably his one shot to do it, though.
Ninth batter in the order, Drew Millis, coming up here. Switch hitting catcher, splits time with Ruiz, but Millis getting the start yesterday and again tonight. One and one. What, 44 pitches here in the first inning for Ronaldo Lopez. Every at bat pretty much has had a deep count. 2-1, 2-2. Lopez trying to keep the Nats at 3. Softly to short. Dubon has it and makes the play. 46 pitches, 3 runs later. Braves offense with some work to do on a chilly Tuesday night. A few Matt Olson jerseys in the ballpark tonight, and this is a ballpark that Matt Olson has hit extremely well in. Had a homer last night, just missed 2 more, and he's going to lead off here in the second inning with the Braves down 3-0. All right, CJ, let's take a look at those numbers here at Nats Park for Olson. It's our Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature.
He's certainly taken advantage of some years here that not gone all that well for the Nationals, and those are some gaudy numbers with an OPS over 1100. He's got the left-on-left matchup tonight, but that really hasn't been a concern. But that is the highest as a visitor since 2008 here at Nats Park. He has certainly brought the lumber.
And that is when this ballpark opened. Back on March 30th, 2008.
These guys, I mean, they wanted to challenge that one. Last, like, no, it was in. This will be one of those nights where people are going to come away thinking, man, I wish we had 5 challenges per team.
But like we said, when you lose, both teams lose a challenge 1 batter in, it really changes how you think about that next challenge.
Yep, absolutely. I think there's already been a couple of times in this game where there's hesitation when you're down to just 1. And quite honestly, I mean, listen, it was somewhat of an ugly inning, but Ronaldo did a good job at the end to get out of it. So you're looking at only a 3-run deficit for this offense. That is not a big deal. So They know they're still in this game, so you look at it from both sides for both teams. You want to be very careful burning your last challenge, and there's a real chance this could be a close one before it's all said and done.
Called strike. Matt Olson, no argument. Back to the dugout. 1 down.
It's two-seam fastball. Not a lot of run on this necessarily at 91 miles an hour, and Matt Olson probably wishes he took a hack at it. It was in the upper third.
Well, the Braves got down 2-0 yesterday, came back to win it. The Braves are actually 6-3 when the opponent scores first. Hopefully it'll be 7-3 after tonight. So this,
he still hasn't done it, man. Austin is not challenged. I just wonder if some guys are not comfortable doing it. And we have the advantage, right, looking at the strike zone box, and clearly it's out. If there's no box there, you might feel differently.
Then he lines that heads up. Thankfully, some open seats down there where that one landed. That was a laser.
That's why you bring your glove.
But yeah, Austin has been incredibly conservative on those borderline pitches so far this year. That one nowhere near. Two fouled away. Riley has been exceptional so far this year against lefties. Look at those numbers, and look at the note at the bottom. Only Yordan Alvarez has that many hits against left-handed pitching so far this year.
We certainly love that part of the matchup here. He's going to have to contend with that cutter we talked about, kind of picking a side. When it comes to this guy in particular, he uses both sides of the plate well.
Bibas across, so Riley grounds out to his position over at third. 2 down.
And it's not to say that you give up another side, but at least early on until you get down to 2 strikes. You're going to look for that, say that cutter in. You certainly could throw it back door. You're going to look for the sinker, the changeup away. And then once you get to a 2-strike count, then you go into fight mode.
Dubon day off yesterday just to get him some rest. Mateo started.
Oh, man.
And he's challenging.
I'm telling you, we are. It's tough to get to 9 unless obviously you get it right a bunch of times, right? But this will be number 4 in the night. We got a chance.
We've talked about it before. It's that pitch that's low that seems to be challenged a lot.
Yeah, and quite honestly, that changeup earlier, right, to Austin Riley could have been one that was challenged.
With Dubon getting the day off yesterday, he was trying to stay warm over in that Braves dugout. He had the hand warmer, the pouch out in front. He had the hoodie on. He had everything going. He said, I was talking to him before the game with Wiley. He said, I was freezing.
But no neck warmer now, right? That he is actually in this game. And for a lot of guys, it just could be when you're sitting around, like it's so cold just sitting there, but not everybody likes having the big kind of ski mask up around your neck and your face when they're playing.
And warmer tonight and a little less wind tonight as well here in D.C. And a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
You might not know it from looking at that, but it's probably double the attendance from a night ago. Full count. Foster Griffin looking for another 1-2-3 frame. Dubon sends it to right field, foul. Every time I say Foster Griffin's name, I want to say Griffin Foster.
Yeah.
Feels like That's a first name that's a last name and a last name that's a first name.
I wanted to say Forrest today. That's why I originally wrote it in my scorecard. I'm like, I don't think that's right. So I was like, ooh, could I do something fun like about running in the Ford Keys? I'm like, you don't even have his name right. Figure it out.
You were thinking Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah.
No, Foster Griffin. 30-year-old rookie. He debuted in 2020, but only threw an inning and 2/3. Had an arm injury, resurfaced a couple of years later. And Dubon gives it a ride out to right center toward the gap. This one is going to plug the gap and bounce up against the wall. There's the first hit. First base runner for Atlanta. It's a Dubon double.
And he does it against the Griffin cutter here and finding another gap. An 8-pitch at bat. There's a good look at that grip. You can see the movement. There's some depth to his cutter as well. And Dubon stays on it. Showing some power there to the opposite field. The ball kept going.
So Dubon continues to swing a great bat in Atlanta. And he gives a chance to Michael Harris. Left on left matchup. Driven down the line, it is fair. That's going to get the Braves on the board. Back-to-back doubles. First Dubon, now Harris. 3-1.
That's Michael doing his homework and being ready for this left-on-left matchup. As much as it's a deep repertoire, it's the sweeper and the cutter, which he mostly throws to lefties. He goes back-to-back with the sweeper. This one inside the strike zone. We talk about Michael's exit velocity consistently. Here he is at 103 as he drills that sweeper into the right field corner.
The Braves continue to come up clutch in 2-out situations with runners in scoring position. And that leads us to our Toyota trend. How about the Braves just in general with runners in scoring position? They were 4 for 8 yesterday in these spots.
That's big. I mean, a 305 batting average. Obviously, we've seen the big run totals. We've seen how good this offense has been, but getting it done when the opportunities are there to drive their teammates in. You go through phases, right? There are times that we went through those stretches, certainly last year, where you felt you couldn't buy a hit when you had a runner in a scoring position, but that has not been the case this season at all.
It has felt like a total 180. Jonah Heim getting the start tonight. Ground ball off the glove of Griffin, but it redirects to Nunez, and he's able to make the 1-4-3 play. But Harris with an RBI double to make it 3-1.
Michael doing it again. He has been on an absolute tear, and another double here to get the Braves on.
The new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra for $0.
We've been chilling.
We go to the bottom of the second inning and see the Nats leading at 3-1. How about Ronaldo? 46 pitches in that first inning. That is tied for the second most by any Braves pitcher. Go all the way back to 2000. Jarrett Wright threw 50 in the first inning in a game in August of 2004. But Ronaldo's in good company. Greg Maddux once threw 46 pitches in an inning in 2002. It was the fifth inning, a game that the Braves lost 11-5.
Huh. All right, well, look, now it's bounce back time. He has fallen behind here 2-0 to the leadoff man James Wood. But all 9 came to the plate in the first against Lopez. 3 scored. And hopefully a quicker second here for the 32-year-old righty.
By the way, color me unimpressed. Come talk to me when you get in the 50s. I can't remember, was it 54 or 57?
That was yours.
I've done that before. Didn't go that great.
Was that a 1-inning outing?
No, it was a start. No, I threw like 130 pitches in like 3 1/3.
Wow.
You would have loved calling that game. No pitch clock. Gave up 11 runs. Only 7 earned.
3-2. So unfortunately another full count here for Lopez, who had a As you can imagine, a lot of long at bats in that first inning. Driven left center. James Wood has left the building. A solo shot. It's 4-1. Of the year for Wood to lead the Nationals.
This is about as impressive as it gets here. This is to the opposite field. Four-seam fastball at 93, and it hit the back of the wall of the Braves bullpen in left center field. A lot of his home runs end up going this way. That was a line drive, too, with some authority from James Wood. 115 off the bat.
Well, he is what we call a StatCast darling, right?
He is. He absolutely is. And I don't know how much longer the Washington Nationals can wait. He is the kind of guy you get locked up, for me. Said it last offseason, make him the cornerstone of your franchise. But you wait another year and it's probably going to be too late.
He's been on a tear. 7 of his 8 homers here have come in the last 16 games. He strikes out a lot, but with everything else he does, kind of makes up for it. By the way, Suarez is back up and throwing for Atlanta.
He only has 1 home run this year to the pull side. 1 to center, and then the other 6 are to left center. That's impressive.
Pretty impressive indeed. That 3rd homer by Wood, that's the 3rd most in base, or 8th homer by Wood, I should say, 3rd most in baseball. Another 3-2 count here. Only Aaron Judge, Yordan Alvarez have more homers this year now than James Wood. Slapped to the left side by Riley and out to White. Luis Garcia is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
That might be it for Ronaldo. Yep, it certainly appears that it will be.
Just an uncharacteristic outing for Reynaldo Lopez. He only records 3 outs, and he leaves in the 2nd inning with the Braves down 4-1.
Hopefully. Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide. Earn cash back at all of them.
Well, the Braves fans that are arriving probably won't like the 4-1 score, but as we saw yesterday, it's early for this offense to make up the ground. No problem. But tough for Reynaldo Lopez. So he's done, and Suarez is in here in the 2nd inning.
The 6th time that we've seen Jose Suarez this year. He knows what the job is. Get as deep as you possibly can, right? We know, of course, he has also made that 1 start, so he has kind of the length in him. Certainly a possibility. 4-seam fastball, changeup, slider, some 2-seamers this year as well from the lefty, and great numbers against left-handed hitters. The righties, though, they've had some good success.
And it is Jacob Young from the right side. Remember, you've got Garcia down at first base.
So I was looking at Reynaldo Lopez's game logs and trying to find the shortest outings of his career. He had 2 starts, one back in 19, one in 20, where he only went 2/3 of an inning. But he had one in 24, and I can't remember this one, where he only threw 1 inning against the Nationals. Didn't let up any runs. If he came out injured, or if there was the rain situation.
He did have an IL stint, if I remember correctly, in August of that year, and I believe that might have been it.
September 10th was the start.
Oh, it was September?
Yeah. And it was a game here. Braves won that game 12-0. But he came out after just an inning.
Nowhere near, and Heim could not stop it, so Garcia to 2nd.
We've seen some bad misses tonight here early on from Braves pitchers, right? I mean, there's misses, and then there's ones that are way out of the strike zone, and Suarez kind of going straight to the fist there to blow on his hands to try to create some moisture, help with the grip. It could be one of those nights right now for Braves pitching.
Out to left field, Eli White is over to take it. One away. Yeah, he left that night, September 10, 2024, with shoulder tightness.
And one of those starts, the one that he had in 2019 as a member of the White Sox, where he only went 2/3 of an inning. That was against the Braves. The Braves won that game 11-5. Gave up 6 in 2/3.
Well, certainly not how Reynaldo envisioned tonight going. See if Suarez can pick him up. Now he faces C.J. Abrams.
You might see Jonah Heim start sitting right in the middle of the plate. You see how badly that four-seam fastball missed. That had some cut on it. Almost looked like a slider. It was about a foot outside.
CJ mentioned it earlier, but keep in mind Raisel Iglesias did go on the 15-day IL with right shoulder inflammation today. So Dylan Dodd was recalled. That's the new arm in the Braves bullpen. Ahead of it, this one into the seats.
So you have plenty of length to cover, right? Obviously, Jose Suarez in here right now. Ian Hamilton hasn't pitched yet. He could be a multi-inning guy if necessary. The one outing we saw from Dylan Dodd was that 3-inning save that he picked up. So the Braves should be able to cover this without having to get hopefully too deep into some of those arms.
He went. A slider, and Abrams with a sword there. Suarez gets the K. 2 down.
That's a good one here at 80 miles an hour. You're going to get a very aggressive C.J. Abrams when you get to these 2-strike counts. Remember, he's way ahead of that previous one and then couldn't hold up on that one.
But how big now to have Robert Suarez to slot into that 9th inning for the Braves.
Yeah, it's why you do it. And a lot of times when this does happen and your closer goes on the IL, everybody slides up and you get a little bit concerned about the depth, but you don't even really have that here with, as well as Tyler Kinley is thrown and Dylan Lee and Aaron Bummer. You have enough guys to still cover the back innings of a ball game you're winning late.
Well, good job by Suarez. He comes in and gets Abrams and Lyle and Young in order here to send us to the 3rd. And join today. 3rd inning brought to you by Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3, your local Atlanta area Audi dealer. Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge there, opened back in September of 2021, just outside the ballpark. On a chilly night, what's Laz Diaz saying to Foster Griffin there?
You don't like a challenge yet? I don't know. Was he complaining?
I don't know. But the pitch missed, and a 1-0 now to Eli White. Bounce foul.
It couldn't have been that previous pitch because it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
There's Wiley.
Is that a souvenir for Wiley? Yes, it is.
I'm going to give it to the crowd. Come on.
Making dreams come true, Wiley Bauer.
It's a big decision, Wiley, to see who gets the souvenir.
I know. You guys are making this more difficult because now everybody's starting to spot that I have a ball. So here we go.
Get rid of it quick. Let's see Wiley throw. Go overhand.
There's no. That's a high net. I've tried this before. It's not easy. White drives it to right, and a diving catch by James Wood. A tremendous effort. That could have been a triple for Eli White.
Absolutely, and probably a pretty easy triple with the great speed that you get from Eli White. You got this big body laying out all the way to get it, and the ball's also tailing away from him. That's a really nice play from James Wood, who's having himself a pretty good night so far. Oh, that would have been fun to watch Eli run in that spot.
He might have gotten all the way home. I think you're right, but unfortunately nothing to show for it. Back to the top here, and Acuna.
How did Wiley finish?
Yeah, that's what we got to follow up. Go ahead, Wiley.
Your timing was impeccable. Right here, Eli hits the ball right here.
There you go.
It's a big league move, Wiley, and picking somebody out and asking someone else to help, and We're all in this together.
Yep.
Hey, I got to give my man credit. He volunteered. He said, "Hey, I got it."
Oh,
Good
nice.
job.
So
Good work. People helping people.
People helping people. High quality Braves fans down here.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, last night, and again, it was a really small crowd, but the Nats fans vacated after the Braves put up 5 in the middle innings, and then you could hear the Braves fans that were left hooting and hollering the rest of the way en route to a 9-4 win.
That guy's getting an earful from his lady, wondering why he gave it to that
Why
lady.
didn't I get the ball? Acuna sends it out to Young. 2 away here in the third.
That little where you see that "This Bud's for You" section, I don't know what they call that, but that one's crowded tonight.
I think I know why. Get that beer jacket on. It's $5 Tuesdays,
Ooh.
including $5 beers, which at a ballpark, it's a bargain. Drake Baldwin fouls it off. Got a couple of Missouri State guys back there. Drew Millis, the catcher, was the starting catcher at Missouri State right before Drake Baldwin got there. And then Baldwin arrived at Missouri State in 2020. Millis became a 7th-round pick by the A's when he left Missouri State, and then Baldwin 3rd-round pick by the Braves a few years later.
So I wonder if it was like a recruiting trip involved maybe for a couple of catchers. What was Millis's year, his draft?
2019.
All right, so maybe.
Baldwin the other way. He drove in a couple of runs, hitting a ball right down that left field line yesterday to Drake Baldwin. Kick save and a beauty over there by Brian O'Nora.
Way to knock it down.
And when Drake came up, you saw his numbers against the Nationals in 12 career games, so a small sample size, but he has had great success, and he is fighting here against Foster Griffin.
The back-to-back split fingers that Drake Baldwin just saw here, left on left again. I mentioned it's going to be mostly the sweeper and the cutter, but just try to get him with the split.
And that 2-seamer foul. He added that split finger over in Japan. That was something that he did not have in his first go around in the bigs. But as you said, 3 years in Japan, he said that's where he really learned to be a starter. Was an all-star last year in Japan, and then the Nationals bringing him stateside on a 1-year deal.
It's a rite of passage almost. If you want to go learn that pitch, that is the country to do it, and they own that one.
Baldwin lifts it deep out to right center, and it is gone. Drake Baldwin strikes yet again, and it's 4-2. 6th of the season, all of them solo shots for Baldwin.
And his second against the left-handed pitcher. He came in just destroying left-handed pitching. Actually, the numbers across the board, batting average, OPS, all better against lefties. That ball's probably outside of the strike zone. We've talked a lot about his ability to cover both down and away and do it with authority. And he does it again against that curveball from the lefty.
And Ozzie hitting it towards Garcia to end the third. But Baldwin, solo shot, 4-2.
5, $7, and $9 lunchboxes.
Look at the kids of Brave Country representing here. The third inning is brought to you by Audi. Experience the all-new Audi Q3. It's a beauty. Get it at your local Atlanta area Audi dealer today. Showing bunt. Nunez will lead it off here in the bottom of the third.
Talk about certain games having feelings, right? This one has an early feeling here with the Braves getting behind. but the offense kind of keeping them in it. And now you're just looking for a pitcher to kind of stop it here a little bit. It's a good offense. We've talked about this offense coming into this one. Third most runs per game.
Not enough room there for Matt.
Find a way to slow it down, give this offense a chance, and they can come back and win it.
Yeah, again, the story early for the Nationals is they've given up a lot of runs. They've scored a lot of runs. They're 10-13, 23 games into the season. The Braves at 16-7. And there's the new skipper, young 33-year-old Blake Butera. Trying to bunt, bunts it foul. He's got great speed, 8 stolen bases, tied for 4th in baseball, so you know Nunez can go.
A couple of bunt hits for him so far this season. And you figure with 2 strikes, Austin Riley can be comfortable enough to go ahead and slide back.
Went to Collins High School in Gwinnett County, about 30 miles from Truist Park. So he has known his teammate C.J. Abrams since high school, and Michael Harris as well. Inside, full count. Collins Hill High School. Gretchen making sure I got that correct. Not Collins High School in Gwinnett County. Oh, nice changeup. And the Collins Hill alum down looking to start the bottom of the 3rd.
Got good depth on this changeup from Jose Suarez. Kind of go straight down this one, maybe even a little bit of glove side run to it. Locking up Nunez.
So Nunez 1 for 2. Now Bibas.
Kind of wondering about that guy sitting behind home plate wearing the Yankee jersey. Is there any chance it's a Vivas jersey? Like, why else would you show up to a Nats Braves game with your Yankee jersey on over your teal shirt?
He only played 29 games for the Yanks last year. I don't know if there's any Vivas Yankees jerseys floating around out there, but that would be something.
War number 90.
I'm guessing that is an Aaron Judge jersey. What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
I'm trying to look down there, but we're in the clouds up here. So
if we had the Hubble telescope, we could probably see it from here. Oh, that's a crime against humanity.
It's just an Amazon.com situation.
So is that out of bounds for you? To wear a jersey of a team that's not participating in the contest to a big league ballpark? What do you think? It's a controversial topic.
Let me say this: I have worn a Braves jersey to a Cardinals game several times when I was a kid, when the Braves weren't playing.
Okay, well,
now
you were
maybe
a kid.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
is there a cutoff?
Is there
over 18? Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah, you're out. Sounds like an next poll we might have to run.
I think that's good. The cutoff's 18. Now, is there a cutoff age limit for just wearing a jersey in general?
No, I don't mind it.
I don't
mind it, right? The world's a tough place. We're all grinding. You want to come to the ballpark and wear the same uniform as the players, go for it. Man. Have fun. Bring your glove.
I'm in.
I'm on board with all of it.
Especially if you got your kids with you.
Yeah, it's fun.
100%.
Some people that get kind of upset about that concept, like there's an age limit on when you should be wearing a jersey. I couldn't disagree more.
Yeah. Now, if you're going out to dinner on a Friday with your wife, might be a couple of questions involved there.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on, Laz. Let your first base umpire should make that call. He's got the better look at it. I mean, I shouldn't say it. I mean, at home plate, if it really feels like he's coming towards you, you can make that call, I guess. But more often than not, when a lefty is trying to deceive the runner by kind of pushing that 45-degree angle that you get, I always feel like that should be the first base umpire's call. No, yeah, that came straight down. Yeah, a tough one to defend.
But it was the home plate umpire that called the balk, and now you've got Vivas in scoring position. And a 1-2 count on Tena.
I mean, again, there's this imaginary 45-degree line, and I'd say Suarez was about 88 degrees. He almost went straight at home plate. Yeah, there you go. Good for him. You don't see it too often, but do it. Right now for Suarez, he did not like seeing the on-deck hitter probably 5-6 feet in from that on-deck circle. Gives you a look at the pitcher.
Yeah, so they move Millis over. Laz Diaz correcting that. We've talked about that before, and you said as a pitcher that would bother you.
Yeah, I mean, I never noticed guys trying to take that advantage, quite honestly. I feel like, and this is a much better view to kind of see it and not necessarily thinking about it, but he moved over far enough where it then got in his peripheral, and he's like, I'm not having that. I think it's okay.
Michael Harris, this will hang up in the air for him. Quick message here from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
It's probably 7 or 8 years ago. I was calling a game in Texas. Adrian Beltre, of course, maybe more than that now, but he was reprimanded by the umpire. The pitcher didn't say anything. The umpire told him to move over. And so what Adrian Beltre did was he picked up the batter circle and dragged it over to where he wanted to stand. And he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, you can't do that. And I don't think Laz Diaz would stand for that either. No. As long as Laz has been around.
Look.
Oh,
you got Wood doing the same
Wood's
thing.
Back in that spot. Yeah.
Like, and way more than Millis was. Yikes.
Huh. I'm surprised that Suarez hasn't said anything. Laz kind of just looked over there.
Yeah, here we go. No. I guess not. Just a regular timeout. I mean, he is really pushing it. What do you think? 12, 15 feet?
Yeah, at least 10.
Free throw distance?
Yeah.
Like Wiley to say something to James Wood about that. Get him straightened out.
I'd love to have that conversation on tape.
Oh, here's my new favorite thing from our view that I never really thought about before. Wiley was pretty comfortable in his chair trying to keep himself warm, and then as soon as I said his name, he stood up in case he has to come on camera. That's going to happen a few more times tonight.
He's always camera ready. Got him.
And change up now, Wiley.
Change up gets Millis. A couple of good innings here for Suarez.
And chicken finger quesadillas. Who's got the sauce?
Braves trailing 4-2. We go to the top of the fourth. Matt Olson leading off for Atlanta. We've talked a few times about Tim Hires and how he had a son on Matt Olson's Little League team back when Matt was in 5th grade. And, you know, Tim had some good stories. Matt shared some as well as he's going to ground out to first here. But, you know, the concept of effective velocity, right? A fastball up and in is probably a mile or two harder than it would be down the middle. And fastball low and away, probably a mile or two less hard, if you will, from a perception standpoint. That was the first time Matt Olson had heard that. Tim Hires gave him that advice when he was 11 or 12. Matt's reaction was, that's actually something that could help me a little next level. And it just reminded me of what it'd be like to coach Matt Olson as a little leaguer, saying, I can't help you. That's all I got.
That's right. Yeah, for most guys, that probably is the case, right? You get some pretty good players when they're young and it's kind of staying out of the way at that point and kind of letting them go ahead and do their thing.
But how cool, all these years later, these guys hitting coach and star first baseman, and Matt Olson now at 32 years old. We won't give out Tim Hires' age. We'll say Tim's 42.
He's got to be, what, 2 years older than me? Is he 55? He might be.
I think he's younger than you. No. He is 54.
54, so only a year. A couple of former Toledo Mud Hens for Tim Hires and I. At a really old, crappy ballpark.
Tell us how you really feel. Shallow into the grass. So Riley popping out to Nunez. Quickly 2 down.
Had a chain link fence in the outfield. Just a standard, like 4-foot chain link fence.
Did it have the yellow topper?
It didn't have the yellow topper. No, that would have been special. That would have stuck out. Now they got a good ballpark in downtown, but the old one, I mean, most of the AAA ballparks nowadays they do a really nice job with those. was not always like that. My first AAA ballpark was the old ballpark in Indianapolis where they shot the movie 8 Men Out. Pretty cool one.
Yeah, Victory Field there in Indy.
Now it's apartments, right? Did you see how I think they converted it to apartments, but the field's still there?
Okay. I did not see that. Dubon, he had a double in the second inning, now a single here in the fourth. And remember what happened in the second. He doubled with 2 outs, and then Harris doubled to bring him in. We'll see what happens here.
And once again, good coverage here. Bottom of the zone with that sweeper coming into Mauricio Dubon. So we've seen him go to the opposite field in that first at bat against the cutter, and now pulling the sweeper for a single. The older Victory Field was like a dirt racetrack, like in between, but they eventually settled. A developer came in and built those apartments.
Yeah, I'm looking it up because I'm trying to remember when they did that construction.
Yeah, I think it's been a while. I'd say probably at least a decade or so.
Yeah.
8 Men Out, you like that one?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. I like the period pieces.
Which I had not seen until taking this job.
Oh, wow.
And I corrected that. Back to the mound. And Harris and the Braves are retired in the top of the fourth.
Presented by Truist.
It is Thomas Jefferson tonight who wins the president's race here at Nationals Park, and it's fitting we've got a race unfolding because this next story is all about base running, guys. Often we'll hear Antoine Richardson talk about how great base running can change a game. Well, I've got a story where great base running can change a life. All right, you ready for this? I'm going to take you back to the summer of 1997 in Venezuela, where Zorita and Jose Suarez Sr. Are participating in a softball game, and Jose Suarez's mother goes first to third on a base hit to right. She slides in safely to third head first, so on her stomach, and it was then she felt something was didn't feel quite right. Thought she might be sick. They went to a doctor, and next thing they knew, she was pregnant, entering the second trimester with Jose Suarez. So guys, be careful when you're going first to third and how you slide. You never know how things might unfold.
Wow.
That's a great story.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. And I guess Suarez was just destined to be on a baseball diamond.
100%. And that is wild. And thinking about that, of course, we get to see him now pitching here in a Braves uniform. You almost feel like he should have been a position player if that's how we found out about Jose Suarez.
Are there any other sons out there that can say their mother was sliding into third when they found out she was pregnant?
Probably not.
Probably not. And then he would go on, Jose, to sign with the Angels in 2014, debuted in 2019. So first 6 seasons all with the Angels, then finding his way to the Braves. And after Reynaldo Lopez struggled tonight, they have needed Suarez. He worked pretty quickly in the second and third, and now facing the top of the order in James Wood here in the fourth. Wood had the homer to left center in the second. When Wiley started that report, he was talking about races and presidents. It's like, oh no, where are we going here in D.C.? He thought we were going to get a political report from Wiley Ballard.
Or maybe that Wiley was going to break some news that he would be racing tomorrow, maybe, or something in that president's race.
Foul. Matt Olson diving but not stopping it.
How about the success for Jose Suarez against James Wood in his career? Obviously, Wood pretty young to the game. 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs. He's handled them well. He's got a chance to strike him out here.
Just got a piece of the slider. Ninth pitch of the at-bat. 2-2. And another foul ball. James Wood hitting leadoff this year. Last season mostly second and third in the order. He's fouled off 5 here, and then he takes a slider low and away. But Blake Butera basically said, look, I'm trying to get our best hitter to the plate as often as possible. I want to put him first, and that is where Wood finds himself this season.
The way that he gets on base, the way that he shows power, it has been a trend in the game. We get it here with Ronald.
And he's getting on base for the 3rd time in 3 trips tonight. 2 walks and a homer for James Wood.
The only difference here is you take a look at this changeup that finishes just below the zone. It's a luxury in Atlanta because of the depth of lineup that we have, right? Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, what you can do behind Ronald Acuna Jr. They really don't have that here. C.J. Abrams is having a really good season, but if they ran a little bit deeper, they'd probably get even more production. Certainly it's worked out, but that middle of the order can be a little bit light here in D.C.
Garcia comes up swinging. Who's going to take it? Long way for Harris. Jacob Young, probably heard when he comes to the plate. Forever Young is his walk-up song. And he's still pretty young himself. 26 years old is the center fielder. 1 for 2 with an RBI hit tonight.
Yeah, just his 2nd start in the 3-hole. A little bit surprising because what we saw from him these last couple of years was him as a 9-hole hitter for the most part. It's a big jump, but you know you're getting already good defense, can run really well. It's kind of that last component of whether or not he's an everyday player. But you mentioned some of the work that he's done in the offseason and what he's trying to do offensively. And if he can just hit even close to league average, then he's going to have himself a lengthy career.
Nats said they got some trade calls for him over the winter. And they've got Dylan Cruz, who could be the center fielder of the future. He's in AAA right now as Cruz after struggling last year.
It makes sense that they would call about him because they're a little bit crowded here in the outfield in D.C. Is that the fake out challenge? You got close.
That did look like it might have been a touch low, but called a strike 2-2.
But between Lyle, between Wood, between Young, you mentioned Dylan Cruz, even though he's not on this team right now, is that they have a good group of young outfielders, and you probably should trade one. It's just a matter of figuring out which one. Definitely not Wood, and when. He's doing it again.
Yep. He told C.J. Abrams to move over in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch. Missed. Couple of walks here in the 4th for Suarez.
I think since we've seen it a couple of times here, watch this fastball, some cut and missing off the plate. Jose Suarez should not have to continue to deal with that. Put that on the home plate umpire once in a while just to say something. You say something to the manager. It's getting on the nerves of the opposing starting pitcher. You should be able to ask them to just go ahead and stand there. I mean, and now the other side of it, if I'm the Nats, I could see where you could continue to push a little bit, and we're seeing it again right now.
Yeah, Lyles 10 feet in from that on-deck circle right now as Abrams stands in to bat. Right now, Suarez not saying anything.
That is wild. Unless you do that, you get a little bit of a better look, closer to what you're going to see when you actually get into the batter's box.
Strikes out Abrams quickly. A slider dooms him. That is a big second out with 2 on here in the 4th.
And the second time he has done it to C.J. Abrams with the slider outside of the strike. So remember, it's kind of that half swing where he tried to stop himself in his previous at bat. This time he let it fly. That one probably even further away from C.J. Abrams.
2 on, 2 out. Dalen Lyle, who had an RBI walk back in the 1st inning with the bases loaded.
Careful first pitch here. He is extremely aggressive as he takes a strike. He's right at the 50% mark when you look at first pitch swinging. And that is a really big number. Your league average usually comes in around 30%.
Mentioned his September that he had last year as a rookie. He was not only the rookie of the month in September, he was the National League Player of the Month. 7 triples in September, 6 homers. He was the first player since Willie Mays in '57 to have 7 triples and 6 homers in a calendar month. Just incredible for Lyle as he takes the changeup in. Now, so far this year, 1 homer, no triples, but bottom line is he's got the potential. Already a couple of walks here in the 4th and a 3-1 count to the left fielder Lyle. Now it's full, 3-2.
Kind of wondering what Jonah Heim was doing right there and pointing to all the infielders to remind them 3-2 count. Runners are going to be on the move. Any ground ball, you want to throw that over to first base. Simple things that they know, but things that guys are always reminding each other of.
Bouncer foul. If you missed the start of the ball game, unfortunately Reynaldo Lopez really struggled. He threw 46 pitches in the 1st inning. The Nats jumped on top 3-0. Braves have responded with 1 in the 2nd, 1 more in the 3rd. And now Suarez trying to keep it at 4-2. Again, the payoff pitch. And he has walked them loaded.
All walks are frustrating. The lefty walks maybe a little bit more so. Both Wood and Lyle in this inning drawing walks against Suarez.
Dylan Dodd just brought back up today. He's going to start to get loose.
That conversation is about right there, and I wonder if it's the on-deck hitters or not, right? Because Mauricio Dubon certainly can see it, and you know, good teammates understand. Like, it doesn't bother some pitchers could care less, right? It doesn't bother them at all. Suarez, obviously, it's been a little bit frustrating for him. Mauricio Dubon sees it, sees his pitcher frustrated by it, and maybe saying something to Laz Diaz like, "Can you take care of that? Why does my pitcher keep having to say something?"
Bases loaded here for Nunez. Four-seam fastball misses. High in the air toward the right field line. Acuna is in. He's got it. Suarez walks 3, but bottom line, no damage done.
sure you know how to parallel park?
Always the best deal, always.
I really have to stop snacking between innings because I thought I had more time. Play-by-play, CJ Nick Council.
Yeah, that's right. Enjoy that bar. What kind of bar is it? Laura bar, looks like? First pitch cutter from Griffin called strike.
Ooh, you've done this before.
That's enough for me.
But you have done this, right? You did quite a bit with the Rangers.
Yeah, about 10 games a year. Did a couple innings on radio in spring. That's enough for me. It's a lot of work. That's like a real job.
Not just 4 real ingredients in these bars. Now I feel healthy.
Speaking of which, actually, I don't think I have a bone to pick with you, but I may have a bone.
Why? Because you're eating ice cream before every game?
No, that's my own choice. Okay. I got to be responsible. I got home last night about 10:30. Went to go brush my teeth before going to bed, and I noticed I had like a black dot in between my 2 front teeth, right there in the middle.
And now you think that I saw it and I was like, call it out?
And I didn't eat anything. The only thing I had was a couple of bites of my Parmesan cheese block during the game. There's nothing black in there. And then I remembered I had some brisket that they had here before the game. It's the only place I could have got some kind of black flake in my teeth. And so I'm convinced that I had it there since 6:30. And I've been walking around with confidence for those 4 hours with a big black dot right in between my 2 front teeth. Is that accurate?
I have a lot of flaws. First of all, how are we? Are we good?
We're all right now.
Like I got.
But I mean, it was dead center. Like,
listen,
couldn't be missed.
I have a lot of flaws. When I see that in people, I do point it out. So I promise. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I did not see it.
I mean, I got in front of that mirror and I was like, oh no.
Softly to short off the bat of Heim, and Abrams takes care of that one away. I had a similar situation today. I got a smoothie, right? And it had blueberry seeds or blackberry seeds all in it. So I feel great. I'm feeling good. I get back to the hotel. I have to go up to the front desk because I forgot my room key to ask. She doesn't say anything, gives me my room key. I go in my room. I go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and it's just seeds everywhere. I mean,
it's a bad feeling.
I'm sure I looked fantastic.
And just, you're smiling, you're happy. You're
not a care in the world.
Confident all day long, and you shouldn't have had any.
Yeah, she did seem to be smirking a little more than usual. So
I wonder what the protocol there is for someone in her position.
That's tough. Yeah, I think you just. I went away and she went to her coworker like, did you see that psycho? Eli White deep to right here. How much does this have? Enough to get over the wall. Solo shot to the opposite field to make it 4-3. The Braves inch closer as White knocks his first homer of the season.
Nothing in Eli's teeth, just a big smile after going to the opposite field. Here's a 4-seam fastball at just 91 miles an hour and elevated. This is impressive, though. Not an easy thing to do, as you can see him clearing that 335 sign in right field.
So a solo homer in the 3rd by Baldwin. Now one here by Eli White in the 5th. And we keep saying it, but the Braves get down in these games, but you cannot count this offense out.
No, and on the other side, really, you got to look at it when you see a game like this and say, don't let them hang around. And the pitching, while it's been a little bit shaky here this evening, saw Suarez get up at a pretty big jam and keep it a 2-run game, and now it's a 1-run game.
Now the lineup card flips over to Ronald Acuna Jr. '75th pitch of the night for Griffin is grounded to first. Our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact play tonight. Take a peek at this. So you look at the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Braves plus 24 run differential. That's the best in baseball, and kind of doing that again so far tonight after the White homer.
And maybe the right guy to do it against here in Griffin, because he has had that issue in his last start. He's kind of cruising along for a little while and then ran into trouble in the 5th and a little bit there in the 6th inning before he was taken out and given up those 4 runs.
Yeah, Foster Griffin, he established himself over in Japan, but still very much to prove here. As we mentioned, he's a 30-year-old rookie. It's just his 5th big league start, his 12th big league appearance. So even though he debuted back in 2020, very little time in 2020. Then he had the arm injury, Tommy John surgery, resurfaced for a bit in 22 before going over to Japan. So an interesting story for this southpaw.
And not only going over there, but establishing himself with the Yomiuri Giants, which is pretty much the biggest franchise over there, playing right there in Tokyo in the Tokyo Dome. A little extra pressure when you play at a place like that for sure. And he did a really nice job, and he turned that into a big league offer here.
Getting $5.5 million from the Nationals this season and getting a 2-2 count here on Baldwin.
I do wonder for him. I probably should have looked into this. When that happens, right, when you don't have a lot of service time, you go over there and come back. Obviously, it's a big deal. And whether or not he would just have free agency built in, he's basically got under a year of service time. We'll see what happens.
Gives up the homer to Eli White, but gets Acuna and Baldwin. But 4-3.
Impressive here from Eli to the opposite field to get the Braves just a little bit closer. They're hanging around.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Jefferson Memorial, located in the Tidal Basin here in D.C., dedicated way back in 1943, honoring the third president of the United States. And the third pitcher tonight for the Atlanta Braves is going to be the lefty Dylan Dodd.
I had a good one in the one appearance that he had so far with the Braves.
Oh, Riley almost had it, but Boss, excuse me, they put House in Bebas's place, and he gets the single. Yeah, Dylan Dodd just called up with Iglesias going on the IL, so we'll see if he can give the Braves a couple of innings here.
It's pretty much the two-seam fastball and the cutter. The cutter was a big story last year for Dylan Dodd, so he got two pitches going in two different directions, which should help him against both lefties and righties.
And now Curtis Mead. So a couple of guys coming off the bench here. House replaces Bebas. Curtis Mead replaces DH Jose Tena in the 8th spot in the order.
Staying true to the platoon, but also in this situation, right? It's a one-run game, and certainly we've seen the Braves run their bullpen like they're trying to win this one, and we've seen the same thing with the pinch hitters for the Nationals.
Well, for Suarez, look, I know it was wobbly. He walked 4 guys, but the bottom line, he got through 3 innings of work with no runs given up. So good job by him.
At the end of the day, that's all anybody really cares about, right? The run column for him. And so it gives you those couple of innings, neutralize things here a little bit, and you turn it over to Dylan Dodd and ask him to do the same.
Two balls, 2 strikes here to Curtis Mead. Mead, the only active player to hail from Australia. 38 big leaguers have played in at least one game from Australia. Of course, we have our favorite, and that's the great Peter Moylan in studio with us tonight. Runner takes off, throw down, high, and safe.
Johan got a good pitch to handle, elevated fastball for the throw. I think a little extra frustrated for him because the throw ended up being high. If it's lower, I think they get him here. Nope. No challenge out.
So House with a single and a stolen base. Swing and a miss. 3-2 two-seamer, and Dodd gets the strikeout.
I would think that for the Washington Nationals, as they track these young hitters, and even looking at this game in particular, there's going to be some frustration with the chase. Or they get into some of these 2-strike counts, full counts, where they've gone outside the strike zone. The Braves have been able to take advantage of it. But even though it's been a good offense, that is an area where certainly they can button it up.
Bottom of the order, Drew Millis.
Just realized how big in right center field on the scoreboard that is on the field. Well, they give you the velocity and everything, and then that horizontal and vertical break, and it's a good look for the hitter. Like for the hitters that like to look and kind of see pitch to pitch, not that they don't know it going in, but what it looks like tonight, you really can't miss it. There are some places where you have to search for it.
Long run, Olsen. That would have been an unbelievable catch. Off the bat, I thought he had no shot. He almost got there.
And he ran probably, what, 130 feet or so to almost catch that pop-up. He had a long way to go, as you mentioned. That's a tough angle as well. And I don't just say this because he's wearing a Braves uniform. I don't think I've seen a first baseman better on pop-ups than Matt Olson.
One ball, two strikes here to Millis, the catcher. And Dodd got him to go after a slider. Heim tosses down to first. Back-to-back Ks now for the southpaw.
Gonna get some chase here on this slider. Good use of it below the zone. Take advantage. You're ahead in the count at that point. And you got to trust your catcher too, and he does. And Jonah Heim does a good job of blocking that one.
And they're going to intentionally walk James Wood, put him down at first base, and take their chances with Garcia.
You don't see it too often, right? A left-on-left intentional walk, but this guy's locked in right now, and you don't really worry about matchups. If you're the Washington Nationals, he's got that kind of swing, so Garcia is the guy you want to go after.
Garcia does have a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3.
So he's hitting just 182 against the lefties so far this year, 364 OPS, but not a lot of plate appearances against them. Only 11 so far this year.
He had a good season offensively in 2024, but regressed last year. It takes that outside 1-1. And another guy with some chase in his game.
He's got a pretty level swing. It's an interesting one. So a lot of times we talk about this with Dom Smith, right? If the swing is level, you're probably going to be pretty good on pitches upper half of the zone. If you know there's chase in there, try to start at middle, get it out of the zone for the swing and miss.
Nats have had at least one base runner in every inning. They've stranded 8. They've got 2 more on here. 1-2. Slaps it out to left center, and it's going to drop. And a run comes home to make it 5-3. It's a 3-hit game for Luis Garcia Jr.
I think they had the right idea just a little bit further on this breaking ball, and it was a slider from Dylan Dodd. We talked about going down and away, start at middle, and pitch probably just off the plate. He gets good coverage there. You can sweep it a little bit more, throw it a little bit further down. I think you get the swing and miss.
So the Braves now down by a pair with a pair on, and Young sends it high into the sky, and it will be Ozzie Albies to take it and send us to the 6th inning.
Free to sign up, so go to Braves.com/waitlist and join today.
A Tuesday night in Washington, D.C. Nationals lead the Braves 5-3. Ozzie Albies leading off, and again, temperatures in the mid-50s tonight. And guys, I had a chance to ask Ozzie about how he prepares for cold weather games, and he says he's changed his strategy a little bit later on in his career. Early on, he would wear just about every bit of warm clothing he could find, whether it be a ski mask or something around the arms, just trying to stay as warm as possible. But really discovered he felt like he couldn't play the game that way. So aside from maybe rubbing up a little Vaseline on the arms, trying to keep things warm, he pretty much dresses the same as he would for a warmer game. I guess obviously he's got the sleeves on, but besides that.
Yeah, I think guys would feel constricted sometimes in having too much on, right? The idea of trying to fight the cold when it's real windy, it's a little bit tougher, certainly. But you find that maybe you're not as freed up as you'd like to be when you're hitting. You're out on the field. Stay warm in between innings and do the best you can to fight it when you're on the field.
See if he can get on here to start the 6th. He only saw one pitch in his first 2 at-bats. Flew out to left back in the first, a ground out in the third, but a longer at-bat here. Foster Griffin, the starter, is still out there working into the 6th. And Ozzie is going to be 0 for 3 so far tonight. Now keep in mind for Griffin, the starter, this is his 5th start. First 4 outings, he went 5 innings, 5 innings, 5 1/3, and 5 1/3, and now here he is at 5 1/3 and getting ready to face Matt Olson.
And with some action down in the bullpen, if Matt Olson gets on, he very well could be out of this game. You see Varland taking his warm-up tosses. He had been throwing since the break in the inning, so he's got to be close to ready. Oh my!
That got away.
Ejecto mitt.
This is the first chance since he has come into the game to make a defensive play, and he is able to make the catch, and there are 2 down. And Blake Butera, knowing that his bullpen has been taxed a lot this year, they've thrown more innings than any other team in baseball, has that Nats bullpen. He's hoping to get at least 1 more out here out of his starter. Riley 0 for 2 tonight.
So you get 2 versions of the changeup essentially, right? The previous pitch is the split, runs away, has some depth. He goes actually down and in with a standard changeup. First pitch was a cutter, right? So nothing straight here so far to Austin Riley.
This will be the 92nd pitch for Griffin, season high 95. The splitter in the dirt, 2-2. Bummer getting ready. He had a brief appearance last night.
I feel like we've seen a lot of that from Laz Diaz, right? He's pretty loud when he gets his 3-2 counts, and there have been quite a few this evening, and I got to believe that if Austin Riley gets on, that Griffin's night would be over.
Here is that 3-2 pitch. Riley will reach, and we'll see if that is all for the lefty. Well, a slow exit from the dugout, but it was an exit, and that is going to be it. 5 2/3 for Foster Griffin. Well, he hasn't signaled yet. Maybe he's just going to go out and have a "can you get us one more" conversation.
It's a lot of looking up to your pitcher. Yeah, I don't know about this here. You got a young manager, and that's the decision he's going to make. Yeah, I don't love it for him, right? I think he's kind of finding his way here as a big league manager. This is a guy that has struggled third time through the order. Not a lot of opportunities so far this year, but the numbers have been strong against him with a .417 batting average. Mauricio Dubon's got a couple of hits. Textbook. This is a mistake. We'll see if Mauricio Dubon can make him pay.
Yeah, so wasn't pitching coach Simon Matthews. That was the skipper, Blake Butera, making the visit and keeping Griffin in the game. A single and a double. 2 for 2 for Dubon tonight. Comes up hacking.
I mean, he even got a tap on the backside, it looked like, from C.J. Abrams, like to say, hey, good job.
But some trust in the lefty here, and it looks like he's going to get out of it, and he does. Foster Griffin, 6 innings, 5-3 is the Nationals lead.
Nick Green alongside Peter Moylan in the Rooms to Go Lounge. And Peter, last night the Braves put up a 5 spot on the Nats bullpen. How are we feeling tonight?
Well, if recent history tells us anything, this is going to be a team that scores runs late.
I like it. Let's get you back out to Washington.
Yeah, it has that feel, guys, like there's going to be more runs. There have been a lot of base runners. The only 1-2-3 frame was the top of the first when the Braves went in order. Braves pitching has not had a 1-2-3 inning. We'll see if Aaron Bummer can change that.
Would be nice to get right now again, right? Keeping this team in it within striking distance. They certainly have the ability, down by only 2 right now.
Middle part of the order, 4, 5, 6, beginning with Abrams. Soft tapper right back to Bummer, and a good start for number 49. Quick message from Echo.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
So we haven't had a lot of quick innings tonight, but you know what was quick was the anthem singer.
Yes.
I timed it 1 minute 19 seconds.
No way.
Because Gretchen told me about D.C. Washington, who was the singer, and that's real.
Hold on a second. So
D.C. Washington.
Well,
his name is Dwight Clyde Washington. He sings the anthem here frequently. He sang it in Game 3 of the 2019 World Series. Army veteran, Lieutenant Colonel. But he sang it tonight at 119.
And it was a really good rendition. Getting down to business, understanding it's chilly. We got a baseball game to play. Let's get this thing done. It's well appreciated because it is the other way for those that decide to turn in their own personal rock concert.
Well, the Friday night anthem in Philly, I think, is still going on.
Yeah,
so
finish it up soon. The team left. Everybody else left. They're in Chicago, but
still belting out that last note. Yeah, but how about being a lieutenant colonel that lives in Washington, D.C., and your name is D.C. Washington? That is something. 1-2 pitch. Yeah, fouled off by Lyle. Here's Dwight Clyde Washington. And it was a good anthem, too. It wasn't just quick, it was great.
The good ones that are engaging. We have seen a lot of anthems in our lifetimes. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Liner. White had to adjust, but no problem. 2 away.
Megan had to do a double take. She sent me a text. She said, did Brandon just say their manager's 33?
Yeah.
Yes, he is 33 years old.
It's crazy, his story. But giving him an opportunity, as I mentioned, pitching coach Simon Matthews is 30. They've got a lot of young coaches over there on that bench.
And that's a nice moment for him. Obviously, we want to see the Braves win this game, right? But to take a chance, a little bit unconventional, show some faith in your starting pitcher. The staff loves seeing that, and they've had all kinds of issues here with their starting pitching right now. I don't think it was just about the fact that the bullpen had been struggling, but want to get a gauge to see how he's feeling, want to go for it. This guy's had 2 hits against you. He represents the tying run. We'd love to see you try to finish up this inning, right? And you let him do it, and he got the out.
Feather in the cap of Butera. There's the first 1-2-3 tonight for Braves pitching. It comes courtesy of the southpaw, Mr. Aaron Bummer.
Come shop the bold new collection at the Atlanta Braves Clubhouse store in Truist Park.
Look at that bobblehead on May 13th. Go get yours, Braves.com/promos. Michael Harris II in cash, presented by Beringer Ingelheim. That's his adorable golden doodle cash that is with Money Mike there. We need to get Tripp on the next bobblehead now that there's a Michael Harris III.
Yeah, I think maybe get him out of diapers first would be a good time. We'll get him at least walking, right? Maybe him and Michael together with the dog. That would be a popular one for sure.
But that's going to be a good one. Braves.com/promos to get yours on May 13th. All right, so on to the bullpen, and Varland is into the game in the 7th.
This guy's got a pretty good fastball. You see right there, 95 miles an hour playing at the top of the zone. A little bit of vert that he gets on it. Slider as well. And you can see that strikeout rate. It's really early. This bullpen in general has not done a great job getting swing and miss. Lowest strikeout rate in baseball coming into the series. But this guy has done pretty well on strikeouts so far.
And again, it's the bullpen that has thrown 114 2/3 so far. Sharp grounder, and Varland covers. And the ERA, in addition to all those innings pitched, has not been great.
No, there's been struggles here. Right, came in, was it the highest starting pitcher's ERA? The bullpen has struggled as well, and so some issues on the pitching side, not matching their offense right now. And as much as, of course, we want to see the Braves come back and win this one, when you have a bad bullpen, these are the discouraging outings if you eventually end up losing this kind of game.
How about Heim trying to lay down a surprise bunt?
A little too much barrel, a little bit too much launch angle on that bunt.
But he had House playing way over. He saw an opportunity, just couldn't get it down in fair territory. Yaz has grabbed a bat. So Eli White scheduled to be on deck, but it's Yastrzemski.
3 bunt hits in the career for Jonah Heim, 1 in 22, 24, and 25.
Well, he could have had 1 in 26, but now it's 0-2. He's got to protect. Puts a pretty good swing out to right field. Wood twists around and he can't get it. That's better than a bunt. It's a stand-up double for Jonah Heim.
Not only getting turned around, but it looked like there for James Wood that he actually took a step in first. Take a look at the slider. Not a bad one, down and in, but that is the nitro zone. We talk about it often for left-handed hitters. Now Jonah Heim, of course, is a switch hitter. Yeah, you see it there. Step in, get turned around, and even those long limbs of James Wood could not come up with that one.
So a runner in scoring position with 1 out. James Wood contemplating his effort out there defensively. Millis goes out to talk to Varland. And now he just left him to head back behind the dish. And even though Eli White hit the homer in the 5th inning, now you get the righty-lefty matchup with Yaz stepping to the plate. Braves 6 hits tonight, 5 of them for extra bases, 2 homers, 3 doubles, and a single. 1 ball, 1 strike to Yastrzemski.
Back-to-back good spots with that fastball. Again, it's got some good jump to it. That one actually was up to 21 inches of vertical break. Your league average is 16, right? So again, we talked about ride on the fastball, a little giddy up, little hop. That was a big number.
Varland, 29 years old, first season with the Nats. That one way up top at 96. His older brother Louis Varland is the setup man for the Toronto Blue Jays. He gets Yastrzemski. It's the fastball again. 2 down.
Again, it's respectable velocity, but it is the ride that he gets on it. And this ball just continues to stay up and gets above barrels. And when you have that pitch, the ability to use it at the top and just above is essential, and Varland has shown that.
Lefty Perez warming up as Acuna stands in here. Hey, the stretch tonight will be brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas with Nick Green and Peter Moylan back in Atlanta. Ground ball to third. House has it across the diamond to retire the side. So a double, but nothing on the scoreboard. It's 5-3 as we head to the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Peter Moylan and Nick Green here with you. We want to report on some good news, Peter. Spencer Strider's second rehab start today. This was in Gwinnett. Do you want to spoil it, or can I spoil it?
Either way, buddy.
I'll spoil it. It was very, very good.
Very, very good. And some really good signs. The velocity, he averaged 96 miles an hour, top date at 98.1. That's a huge sign for him. And I'll tell you something else. When that adrenaline kicks in a big league stadium, that's probably going to click up a little bit more. 10 swings and misses on that slider. That's a huge pitch for him. And the fact that he was able to get 8 punch-outs total in just 4 1/3 innings just shows you that he might be ready. And 61 pitches. That means he's probably ready for about 80 next time out. Do you maybe try him in the big leagues? Who sees?
I'll let Peter decide that, and Walt Weiss. Let's get you back out to Washington after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads. Greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
Bottom of the 7th. Great news on Strider. We'll talk about that in a second. But right now we're giving you the pitching change. And so here is Ian Hamilton. First appearance as an Atlanta Brave after spending last year with the New York Yankees.
Looking forward to seeing him. A couple of years ago, Ian Hamilton with the New York Yankees had one of the best sliders in baseball. There's different ways to kind of look at those things. Run value is one of them. And last year, struggled a little bit. Not bad. I mean, you can see those overall numbers. But once the New York Yankees went to the trade deadline and added some pretty significant pieces at the deadline in their bullpen, he had gotten sent down, didn't make it back to the big league. Spent some time in the minor leagues now with the Braves, and we'll see if he can recapture that slider once again.
And the 30-year-old will be facing the bottom 3 in the order, starting with Brady House.
Those both kind of fastballs, but again, the slider is the go-to pitch. Has the 2-seamer, has the 4-seamer. If he can get that slider right, he can be impactful here.
And the Braves are going to need a little something extra in the next couple of weeks at least, or however long Iglesias is out with that shoulder inflammation. Well, what a start to the Braves tenure for Ian Hamilton. It begins with a malfunction to pitch comp.
Yeah, some technical issues. Why not?
While he listens to that, you listen to this message from Chevy.
Get into a 2026 Chevy Trax, starting at $23,495. Proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
I think we're all good to go. And Hamilton rather, firing, and he fires a strike to Brady House. House came in the 5th, had the single, stole a base, and scored. I think you're right, though, CJ. For Hamilton, something to prove, right? That breakout season in 23 with the Yankees last year, frustrating, the inconsistent health, the inconsistent performance. You get a fresh start. You're 30 years of old. You're in a new decade, and hopefully this is a move that pans out for the Braves. Starting off pretty good. He strikes out House with a slider.
Well, back-to-back sliders. One that was just off the corner, and then one for Chase when you get ahead 0-2. I'm fascinated by this. Look at that grip. That is very unusual. Almost looks like he's getting on the side of a changeup. And then when you look at the metrics on, I'm going to start asking some questions. It was only 1,400 RPMs. And you think about some of the better breaking balls, the really good sliders get in the high 2000s, maybe even touch 3. But he's under 1,500. So, and you can see the way his finger was on there. Again, almost looked like it was like a cut my changeup and make it look like a slider. Jose Leclerc used to throw a pitch like that showed up as a slider, but he said it was a changeup.
Well, it was effective, and now Curtis Mead pumping in 95 on the corner.
This could be a little Wiley homework for tomorrow. The low spin rate slider. There's definitely a story behind that pitch.
Popped into the seats. Let's see that grip a little closer here, CJ.
Yeah, look at the finger, right? Look at the index finger. It almost looks like he is getting around a changeup intentionally, right? Because usually the index finger is going to be flat on the baseball when you're throwing that true slider. You might see something different with the middle finger. You might see it on a curveball. But that's not a knuckle grip. It's a finger that's laying on the side of the baseball.
And the slider there to even the count. Hamilton, 6'1", 200 pounds out there in the center of the diamond, looking for back-to-back strikeouts. Foul ball fest right now for Mead.
Well, he's got him in swing mode. If he can get that slider again kind of down and away, that is the finishing pitch for Ian Hamilton.
Did he go? Not according to Brian O'Nora. See the time being called. See the blanket back there behind home plate. Everyone adding their jackets here a little later in the game. We are down to 51 degrees right now at Nats Park. Another check down and no again. So a strikeout and now a walk. Braves.tv. You've been hearing about it. If you're not watching on it now, consider it. New way to stream Braves games live or on demand on any device, wherever you are. No cable or satellite required. Offer less than 70 cents a night. Bottom of the order here, and Millis goes fishing after that Hamilton slider. We'll see how the Nats go forward with their catching position. They've had Ruiz for a while. He's underperformed over the last few years. They've got Millis right now splitting time with him, but they've got Harry Ford in AAA that they got from Seattle, former first-round pick, and it's likely to be the guy for the future at some point. But for now, they ride with Millis and Ruiz.
So Wiley sent us a little article here on the slider from 2023 with Ian Hamilton. And this is actually what, it's funny, I mentioned Jose Leclerc and kind of the side changeup. Get around it. This is what he called it, a slambio.
A slambio.
Slider, cambio
Right.
meaning changeup in Spanish. And Leclerc was the first guy that I saw throw it. And this is probably around 2018-19. And it was intentional. It looked like a changeup grip, but he would cut it on purpose, and it was a nasty slider. And so that's why it got the nickname the slambio. And it sounds like, and I don't have time to read the article right now, but based on the headline, it looks like we are getting a slambio here from Ian Hamilton.
Well, that 2023 season, that was a good one. That was his breakout season in the Bronx with a 2.64 ERA, and then he had the injuries that hit over the last 2 seasons.
And Jonah Heim, one of the few in the big leagues that can say he has slambio experience because he caught Jose Leclerc there in Texas.
Jonah Heim, known slambio connoisseur.
I mean, sounds delicious.
I hear stromboli for some
it's
reason.
Like a cured meat.
That's yeah.
Let me get a slice of that slambio, please.
Payoff pitch is driven out to left for a single.
So he goes with the 4-seam fastball here. Now it's a low vert fastball, so it's not going to play as well up in the strike zone. Actually, will come down a little bit. That will be kind of the next question as we watch Ian Hamilton with the 2 different fastballs, where it plays best, which is the better of the 2 for him, 4-seam, 2-seam.
Well, the lineup card now flipping over here to James Wood, who has reached all 4 times. He had the homer, 2 walks the old-fashioned way, and then an intentional walk in the 5th.
Got to figure out if StatCast can find a way to get it in the algorithm. It shows up, of course, as a slider. But if we could get slambio showing up on the Braves Vision score bug, that'd be a victory.
Staying out arm side, 3 balls, no strikes. He struck out House on 3 pitches to start this inning, but the walk to Meade, a single by Millis, and now Wood ahead 3-0 here. And another pitch that stays arm side. And James Wood has reached all 5 times, and that's going to prompt a visit from Jeremy Hefner.
4 walks in this game, including the 1 intentional for James Wood. It's like an old Barry Bonds line from back in the day. 4 walks and a homer.
And Garcia coming to the plate, a guy that's certainly capable. We mentioned he had a nice year in 2024, but tonight he has been very capable. 3 hits, and he drove in a run in the 5th. Out towards right center. Long run. Acuna, he cannot get to it. It bounces out to the wall, and they are rounding the bases. They're going to score 2. Wood stops at third, but what a night for Garcia. 4 hits, and that's the biggest of them, making it 7-3.
This ball was hit in a perfect spot here. You're kind of watching Michael and Ronald both go after it. Michael did not have a chance. Now what he needed to kind of keep doing was stay behind Ronald and back it up. Not sure would have made much of a difference anyway. It's going to be a double. They didn't score the runner from first.
So runners at second and third, infield in. Jacob Young, high and tight. Nobody warming up in that Braves bullpen. It's all Hamilton right now for Walt Weiss. High bouncer, so high that even with the infield in, the run will score. And the Nationals now up 5 and hoping to end the Braves 6-game win streak.
Yeah, kind of a tough break here. You get the weak contact, but as it goes off the plate, there's not a lot you can do, and so you just take that out over at first.
Garcia to third on the play, and the batter Abrams. Oh for 3 tonight. Tough series for Abrams, who came in a tremendous start this year, but he also had a couple of errors yesterday in key spots for the Nationals. Hits this a ton, but well fouled.
So way out in front. We saw this earlier, right? We gets out in front of some off-speed pitches. That was a little bit more, though, about the location for Hamilton. After a couple of walks in this inning, he goes 0-2 inside the strike zone. If you go back to that slider, you want to see it buried below the zone.
Four-seam fastball stays 0-2. Maybe that Yankees jersey is supporting Ian Hamilton.
There you go.
You know, that guy's still back there behind home plate. Just went to fill up his beverage.
Like a good cold apple juice on a night like tonight.
Hard one bouncer to Olsen, but 3 runs and now a 5-run cushion for the Nats.
Save only $10. Order in the Pizza Hut app.
Top of the 8th inning, it's time for our Destin Fort Walton trip around the bases. Drake Baldwin, this was the 7th pitch of the at-bat, 6 straight swings, and if you need somebody for a long drive competition, Drake is going to be the guy, because this ball was less than a foot off the ground, teed up for him right around 0.99 feet. That is the furthest a ball that is that low has traveled in the history of StatCast. A hat tip to Theo DeRosa of MLB.com. Again, that is the furthest a ball that's pitched a foot or below off the ground has traveled on a home run ever in the StatCast era.
So while he's talking golf, and certainly that applies, but feels a little hockey-like, right? I mean, that's a slap shot there down low and doing it with some exit velocity. Either way, we know that Drake Baldwin could go down and scoop it. But he also covers the top of the zone pretty well.
And he sprays the ball to all parts of the field. What can't Drake Baldwin do?
I bet you can't cook. That's what I want to say.
Oh, that's
just
interesting.
A guess. Just a guess.
Well,
I could be totally wrong.
Wow. And if you're that's bold, because if you're wrong, it could be offensive to Drake as he takes that one up and in.
And then 100% he can do everything. That would make it official.
I'd also call that a one-timer, CJ. The puck was in motion.
That's right. Good. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to talk hockey, you're the guy to go to.
Wiley's got all the vernacular. Wiley, can you explain what icing is to the folks?
Yeah, crossing 2 red lines. So when you're in deep trouble and you're just trying to punt it out of your own end zone. Wait.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know if I'd go punt.
Yeah, intentional grounding? What?
Baldwin with a free pass here to start the 8th. Perez is the new pitcher. The Braves obviously some ground to make up here. We'll see if they can get to the lefty.
It's got a good arm. Fastball gets up 96, 97 on average. Curveball slurve is the other breaking ball they throw in there for Perez. Wiley's also got to be pretty happy. You got that big game between Georgia and Georgia Tech that's happening right now at Truist at home in Atlanta, and Tech is laying it on Georgia right now 12-4.
Ooh.
But it's only the 6th inning there, so it's been a long one.
What a start to the season for the Yellow Jackets.
That's number 3 versus number 5 right now. And I bet you Wiley knows this. It's got to be like the highest rank they've both been, right, while facing each other.
Let's see. Wait for it.
Yes, that is the highest, CJ. And look, I mean, I know I'm a Tech alum, but Georgia's having a great year too. I mean, honestly, college baseball in the state it's pretty serious right now.
Yeah, in a good spot, no doubt. Yep, that's in a good spot too. Lyle coming in, could not get to it. All right, so maybe something brewing. You get the walk by Baldwin. Ozzie with a single. Nobody out here.
Well, curveball here that stays up. And again, when Ozzie is batting from the right side against these lefties, anything coming into him is where he seems to do the most damage. And he stays on that curveball well enough for a base hit.
That curveball that Perez adopted this offseason. Parts of 9 big league seasons for the lefty.
Like a puppy, huh?
Yeah.
Adopted it.
Instead of a puppy, you adopt a curveball. He went to Driveline, one of those well-known baseball labs, and started tinkering with things in the offseason, did Perez. Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce? Talking about Matt Olson, Major League ranks since the start of 2021. All of these categories top 5.
Pretty amazing to see here. Of course, the games, we know the consistency, but the offensive production to go with it for Matt Olson. He is saucy.
Walt Weiss was saying before the game just how impressive he thought Matt Olson's homer to straightaway center was yesterday with how cold it was. It was windy, but he launched that thing over the center field wall in the 4th yesterday.
Ooh.
They have a challenge left, but not going to use it.
That was close. It is the 2-seam fastball, so it's going to come back a little bit. Might have caught the corner. Matt Olson thought better of it. Think about leverage situations. If you're right, 3-1 count right now, but down by 5. I could see why maybe you let that one go by.
Playing up the middle, Abrams stops it, and they're able to get the 1 at second. Olson beats it out at first. Pretty good job by Abrams and Nunez up the middle.
Kind of had disaster written all over it at one point, but they do a nice job recovering and at least getting that out at second, and definitely made it closer at first than I thought it was going to be. Now, a long way to go. The issue becomes, can your second baseman get there in time? You don't see him catch it that far in front of the bag too much. A lot of times you just take the out over at first base in that situation where the ball is taking you.
And again, a lot of errors for the Nationals this year, most in baseball, but none tonight for either team. Yeah, so Laz Diaz, CJ, with him starting in '99, you must have had him for
yeah.
quite a few seasons.
Yes, absolutely. And always a great guy and highly respected and carries himself like a true professional. You don't last this long as an umpire unless you do, but he's a good one. A good man.
On to second. Wild throw. Oh, my. They got him at first. That is one of the strangest plays you will ever see.
I don't know what happened on that throw and where Nunez was. If it was that far offline, or if Garcia just assumed that C.J. Abrams was going to be there, and so he threw the ball to him.
Braves do get a run out of this.
Yeah, he just kind of threw it there, and they're lucky that ball didn't end up in the outfield. That's good recovery from C.J. Abrams. That could have been real ugly. That's a pick, too. That ball was in the dirt.
That was bizarre. They get a little closer, 8-4. Here's a challenge.
Catcher's challenge the ball.
Challenged by the Nats and Millis. And score one for Laz Diaz, and the Nationals are out of challenges.
Yeah, I think we're at 5 now for the night. 3 of them have been burned, so Laz Diaz is on the positive side. I don't think we're going to get to that 9. We were pacing at an unbelievable rate.
Mentioned how long that Laz Diaz has been around. He's worked 3 World Series, 2007, 2017, and 2020 during the COVID year as well. He's 63. You think about this, Blake Butera, the Nationals manager, at 33. So Blake was 7 when Laz Diaz got his start as an umpire at the major league level. Now they share the same diamond tonight. 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Dubon takes his base. Not done yet here in the 8th inning.
Pitching coach is even younger, right? We say he's 30?
30.
So you add the pitching coach and the manager together and you get one Laz Diaz.
There you go. Well done, my friend.
And I'm just taking a guess, but he's definitely been on a surfboard before. Skateboard.
He pitched in the minors, made it to AAA. He knew Sean Doolittle, though, from a baseball performance lab, and Sean Doolittle still on staff with the Nationals. Sean had good things to say about Simon Matthews, and that helped him in getting the job here in Washington.
I really liked his work in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, these guys that come out of those labs who joke around, they're sharp, and they certainly know what they're doing, and they're finding their way in professional baseball a lot more now. And because these guys are hungry for it, right? Whether you're the lead pitching guy or you're the second guy, the ability to help with the data, translate it. Pitch development, these guys have every advantage with them right now, and having coaches that understand that completely is important. And they put together a young, sharp staff here. So we kid because we care.
We kid because we care. Put that on a bumper sticker.
The great Chris Myers. That's his go-to.
Hey, let's take a look at our what a burger, what a play for Michael Harris. You look at the last 5 games, a couple of homers, 3 driven in. Let's see what Michael can do here. He's down to the count of 1-2 strikes. Fouls it off.
Michael has faced Perez a couple of times in his career. 3 at-bats overall. He doubled off him back in 23 when Perez was a member of the Orioles.
Bouncer to short. Abrams has it. Braves get 1, 8-4 onto the bottom of the 8th.
The only one who cares.
Yep.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. And by Rooms to Go. Shop a huge selection of beautiful rooms, all $999 or less. Game 2 of a 4-game series. The Braves 6-game win streak, but the Nationals 3 outs from ending that. Right now, Payamps is into the game to try to keep this at 8-4.
We had that long break, what we say, 9-10 days where he hadn't pitched, and he did a nice job yesterday. 3 up and 3 down, and they're going to ask him to do the same here tonight.
Five, 6, 7 in the order, starting with Dalen Lyle. A lot of pitchers tonight because Lopez only recorded 3 outs, had his struggles, and then it's been a handful of arms out of the bullpen since. There's the first out at the bottom of the 8th. Quick message from Kia. Now, if you did not hear Nick and Peter earlier, if you haven't been on social media, Spencer Strider, really good outing tonight for AAA Gwinnett. 4 1/3, CJ, 8 strikeouts, just 1 hit, no runs, and 1 walk.
Sounds like he looked pretty good. Some of the metrics that he looks for in his fastball seem to be there as well. And so now the Atlanta Braves will have a decision to make. And you kind of heard the guys alluding to it a little bit. Would that next start happen at the big league level? We'll see. It's going to be good to get him back. Rough spring training with all the news we got with the starting pitchers that went down. Spencer Strider at the very end with that oblique. Let's hope so.
Yeah, and given all of those injuries, there was anticipation that the start to the season for the Braves pitching would be rough. It has been anything but. There have been just few bumps on the road, but tonight one of them certainly for Reynaldo Lopez. Full count to Nunez. One out walk here at the bottom of the 8th for Nasim Nunez. Second time he's reached tonight.
It's 11 walks now tonight for Braves pitching. The season high had been 8. So they have blown that away here so far tonight.
It started with 3 in the first inning by Lopez. Runner heads for second. Good jump, and Nunez in there easily. And we mentioned how he's one of the top 5 base stealers right now across Major League Baseball. This is his 9th of the year.
And it's an average jump, right? It's the great speed that he has there and getting in front of this throw. He steals it pretty easily.
"20 base runners tonight for the Nationals." Going for third. He got another one.
Frustrating certainly for Jonah High, but a lot of times if you're going to steal third, good base stealers would tell you go ahead and do it right after you've stole second on that first pitch. Sometimes the guard is down. Infield in.
So now there's only one player in baseball with more stolen bags than Nunez. That is Jose Ramirez with 11. And then Nunez and O'Neal Cruz each have 10.
Now that we mentioned the 11 walks, obviously this game is only through 7 1/3. Last time the Braves had more, let's go all the way back to 2018.
Really?
When they walked 14 against the Washington Nationals.
Huh. Was it here?
Same club. That was in Atlanta. Game they lost 7-1. So it's been 8+ seasons since we have seen the Braves walk this many in a game.
And threatening to walk another one. Walk number 12. Let's talk about something happy. Let's talk about Star Wars night at Truist Park this Friday, April 24th. Go to Braves.com/Star Wars. Look at that bobblehead with Matt Olson and what's the...
Well, first of all, I took the head off to look at it. I realized I put the helmet on backwards. That was not intentional, so I apologize. And it's
Grogu.
Grogu. It says
Grogu.
it right on there.
Grogu.
We were reprimanded heavily, which makes us doing this again a little risky because it's almost like saying something bad about a Swiftie. If you say something, we weren't saying anything bad about Star Wars at all. We just kept messing it up. But yeah, check that guy out. And boom.
That is awesome.
That is pretty cool. I get Matt Olson, a little mustache there. Perfect hair.
So come out and get yours, whether you're a Star Wars fan or not. Big weekend at the park between that and Brian Snitker getting inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame. It's going to be a great weekend back in Atlanta.
And I did see that the Philadelphia Phillies announced that Zach Wheeler will be back. He is starting that game on Saturday. That should be a pretty good matchup. The Phillies continuing to struggle.
Now they carried a 6-game skid into tonight. High, deep, down the line. And it's fair. It's gone. 3-run homer for Meade.
Two-seam fastball here, elevated and not intentionally. It's a pitch that he is going to want in, probably down, even belt high, but it's impressive to keep that ball fair. It's running in on the hands, and it did by a pretty good margin. And now it's just kind of turned into one of those nights where we thought maybe the Braves would have a chance. They were in striking distance, and now the Nats have opened it up.
So let's talk about the Phillies and the Mets struggles, and what do you say?
Yeah.
So the Phillies are on a 6-game skid. They're losing 3-1 in the 7th to the Cubs right now. The Mets were up 3-0 trying to end their 11-game losing streak, but the Twins have tied it, and that game is in the 9th right now, tied at 3.
Yeah, top of the 9th. The Twins just took the lead, as you were saying that. Bases loaded, nobody out. They could be adding on some more. There's a lot of talk about how they were going to be received at Citi Field, and I saw some chatter online where Mets fans were trying to pull off what the Phillies fans did a few years ago when Trey Turner was really struggling, saying let's get behind him, let's cheer him, right? And there was kind of talk about that getting his season turned around. I said, I don't know if they're going to do that in Queens. That doesn't seem like their MO.
No. And no team in Major League Baseball history has ever lost 12 straight games in a season and gone on to make the playoffs. And the Mets now down in the 9th and could potentially lose their 12th in a row tonight. Called strike there, 2 down. Well, this should send us to the ninth. But a 3-run homer by Meade makes it 11-4.
So go to Braves.com/waitlist and join today.
Most random thing a fan has asked you to do or asked you for?
I mean, I've signed a lot of Kit Kats the last week.
Really?
It's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People ask you to sign their Kit Kat.
100%. No, it's hilarious.
Wiley Ballard, Braves Country Convos is the podcast, and it's a great podcast. Jory Palmer, Lauren Saad are the hosts. And how about Eddie Perez right now eating a Kit Kat over in the Braves dugout? Did Wiley give that to him? I don't know, but you can watch the podcast on YouTube. Hold on, Wiley, or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Okay, go ahead.
You ready? Okay. Where else would he have gotten it, Brandon?
I don't know.
I got 2 more right here.
He's ready.
Yeah, no. Eddie saw me stuffing those earlier. I had a fan give them to me, and he kind of looked at me and said, "Hey, later." I said, "You got it."
How does one sign a Kit Kat? Because I would think that Sharpie just rubs right off, Wiley.
Well, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't.
Okay.
But, you know.
All right.
I'll give you some pointers later.
Thank
I'll be
you.
honest. I signed it, gave it back. I didn't test the integrity of the mark.
I know. I picture a sad kid when that's smeared right off.
I mean, I think an Expo would definitely smear off. I think Sharpie's got a little hanging.
Okay.
They can hang in there.
Are you working on a Sharpie sponsorship down there, Ballard? Maybe.
Hey, my people talking to their people. We'll see how it plays out.
No, but looking forward to hearing that podcast with Wiley. Is that out yet? Is Wiley's episode available? Why have I not been told about this until right now?
And here's the other thing. It's not the longest one, but it's pretty close. An hour and 9 minutes of Wiley Ballard that you would get on that
69
podcast.
minutes of Ballard?
That's a lot of Ballard.
That's a lot of Ballard.
Hey, but they do an excellent job with that. And I mentioned something to Walt about it. His wife was on in late February. So really good listen. Want to learn a little bit more about our manager and his family. Terry Weiss did a great job on the podcast. So actually, when Charlie Culberson was on, he was on with his wife Sarah, they went at an hour 10, so they got Wiley about a minute.
No, it's a great podcast. Check it out if you don't already. Subscribe to it. Braves Country Convos.
Sounds like maybe a flight home at the end of this thing on Thursday.
I'm locked in now. I was going to watch The West Wing season 4, but now it's Ballard season 1. Well, this is the most runs allowed by the Braves this season. They allowed 10 to the Marlins on April 13th, but the Nats up 11-4 here with 1 out in the 9th, looking to end the Braves' 6-game win streak. And Beater's trying to get the final 3 outs here.
I'm not going to say the Braves were due for one like this, but they have been playing so well. You knew one was bound to happen, and if it ends this way, you just kind of chalk it up as an L and you move on and you get focused on winning the series.
Yeah, the pitching has been so good. You knew at some point a hiccup would come, and unfortunately Lopez just never really was on track tonight.
Yeah, had a real hard time finding that consistent release point. We had noted a lot of arm side misses, and not just misses for him, but there were some significant misses. He was having a hard time throwing those competitive pitches that you want to see.
Twins now up 2 and still going in the top of the 9th there at Citi Field in New York, by the way.
And another former Yankee, so maybe that guy was here to see Beater.
Ah, the parade of former Yankees continues. Yaz went around. Braves down to their final out here. Certainly one positive tonight, in addition to what we told you about Strider and his rehab starting Gwinnett, is Ronald Acuna getting hit by a couple of pitches yesterday in the lineup, and seems like playing without any issue tonight.
Yeah, good to see, right? I thought maybe it would just be that kind of standard day off just to play it safe with the games in a row, but we know this. Ronald Acuna Jr. is happiest when he is playing baseball, and he felt good enough to be out there.
Just as we say that, up and in. 3 balls and a strike. Drake Baldwin hoping for one more opportunity. He's on deck. Drake had his 6th homer of the year back in the 3rd inning. Tied with Matt Olson for the most on the team. And a single to left field. First hit for Acuna tonight. Ball game continues. The homer to right center traveled almost 440 feet back in the 3rd for Baldwin.
Maybe looking for another one right there with a big hack at the slider from Beater.
I mentioned it, but all 6 of his homers now have been solo shots, so got a man on, chance to change that here. Acuna will bump up 90 feet. Beater with a 1-1 pitch to Baldwin. Misses with a 4-seam fastball. Game 3 tomorrow. Again, it's another night game. Remember, it's a 4-game series. Martin Perez against Zach Littell. And then Thursday, the day game, Chris Sale against Cade Cavalli, with a 1:05 Eastern start to finish off this road trip.
And another kind of ace matchup, right, for Chris Sale. He's had quite a few of those. Cavalli is their #1 in this rotation.
But right now, the Nats trying to even the series at a game apiece. And they do. The Nats put an end to the Braves' 6-game win streak. Nationals win it tonight 11-4.
We said it, just kind of one of those nights Ronaldo Lopez could not get on track, and lasting just that 1 inning, it seemed like the Braves had a chance to stay in this one, maybe a comeback, but it got away from them late, and the win streak is over. But like we said, got a chance to win this series. You come back tomorrow. Good pitching lined up, as you just mentioned, over the next 2 games.
Back to D.C. in a moment.